Speaking of glow-ups, I don't know if you recognise any part of this face at all.
Oh,
Ignore the slogan and ignore how good it looks on me, but on your original post that you shared, your glow-up had blue on your bottom lash,
oh,
purple on your top, and then your little dots.
you wear it much better than I did.
I thought since we were talking glow-ups, there was a picture of Efren staring at me the whole time I was copying other photos, and I was like, let's give it a whirl. Look how well I wear it now compared to Alaska. Hello! It's Sister Babeushka here.
Hello, I got and I'm Sister Alaska Lot.
You okay, hun?
That was much harder to do than I thought.
And this is utter nonsense.
This is the show where we pour a piping hot cup of tea.
And we utter whatever pops into our heads.
And we release a brand new deep dive video once a month, every month on the first of the month, as well as fun, shorter videos every week in between.
And you can check out all this fabulous content at houseofnonsense.org.
Our website's fab, you should check it out.
Today, we thought it would be nice to have a look at a whole bunch of sister glow-up pictures.
I am very excited to be doing a glow up video. I love looking at makeup glow ups anyway because the transformations are just so cool. But today, to look specifically at other sisters is just going to be so much fun.
When sisters are out and about and you see them at Prides and you think, oh my God, they look so fabulous. I know that's what you think when you see me. Don't worry, it's fine. But as well as seeing that side of us, it's good to know that we all start somewhere.
Every sister has their own unique style, and it's interesting to see how they started and how it's developed over time.
And it's a reminder that you don't have to be perfect right out the bat. You will grow and develop and become fabulous just by doing what you want to do.
I think the one thing that we see in common with all the sisters that we're going to be looking at today is the white space. And it is literally our blank canvas. It just gives us a completely blank canvas to do whatever stuff we want, no matter how crazy and out of the box it is.
Well, Alaska, shall we burst open this box and see some fabulous sister faces? We start off on a really strong one.
This is the one and only Contagious, I believe from the Kentucky Fried Sisters. And Contagious is known for makeup. Like, they really stand out. They are absolute goals.
I do absolutely gush over Contagious's designs. Like, they're always so creative and cool and dark, and they just tickle that little bit of Babeushka that loves it. It's just great.
But let's look at how Contagious started. As a postulant, there are limitations on what sisters can do with their makeup. So there are rules, for example, not having any colour on the lips. So this is a very monochromatic design, but it's a strong start. It's far better than mine was.
Even there, in the very first picture, you can see that is the creativity that Contagious brings. There's that creative, dark element. And even from very first manifest, you can see that already and how it's going to develop over time.
The makeup now is just spectacular. Look at the attention to detail. The nails, the claw nails.
The fact that the makeup on the face also just blends right into the outfit they're wearing. The design perfectly lines up. They've thought about everything in designing their look. It's absolutely spot on.
Top tier.
Kens across the board.
What an inspiration.
It's great. I love it. So for our next picture, we have Sister Glamorama Ding Dong from the Mad City Executor back in 2015.
This is their before picture and it's already gorgeous. The blending is just...
Also, picking the tones that balance each other correctly, like the orange beard going with the orange above their eyes, but then also the pink lips and the pink blush to the side. Just, again, attention to detail and that colour coordination to make a face that really pops.
I'm loving the lip shape. They've got the same vibe that I tried to go for with the smiling corners, although they've taken it far further than I have. That's goals.
You'll never be sad with Sister Glamorama around.
But looking at their more recent picture, wowzers.
I am not a beard haver. I don't pull off a beard very well, but that beard is beautiful. And I love the sort of Christmas outfit to it.
I feel like the eye shape has really developed beautifully with the much thicker wings. You can see it's what they had before, but more.
After obviously some experimentation about what works for them, finding those little bits that they want to add to their look over time just makes it look really creative and stand out. Oh, these sisters knocking out of the park on their first go compared to some of us.
Let's move on to Sister Ophelia Rass. What a great name. They are with the Cincinnati Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, and this was taken back in 2017.
Sorry, don't mind me getting up into the camera to look at the photo.
It's a coy little drag nun.
As we've commented before, because still young in their journey with the sisters, you've obviously got a simple sort of headpiece, but they've pulled it off quite well by having a good block of colour. I quite like that. It's simple but bold.
I think that they managed to do something that I didn't do the first time round, is that they knew to go bold. I was far too timid with my first face, my first few faces. So I like that they decided to go out there with big colour, because actually that's one of the most important lessons I think that sisters learn, is big and colourful, the better it is.
When you've got a blank canvas, you got to go big or go home, right?
As sometimes happens, sisters change their names. We've certainly changed our names before as we've developed as a sister over time. So as they progressed through their sister journey, they changed the name and became Sister Brioche.
Damn, the name game is strong here. We have a picture from June 2024 showing just how much of a glow up they've had.
Over time, they've leaned more heavily into the clown nun aesthetic, which honestly just, they've knocked it out of the park.
Such a different look compared to the vision that we had in 2017. They've obviously had time to experiment with what works with their face shape as well as what sort of makeup styles they want to do. And actually, I think it's really cute how it's done with the colour on the nose.
Still bold and colourful.
They understood the assignment.
Totally did. Now, there's a familiar face.
Honoured guest of the show, Sister Kombucha.
Now, we have done a previous video where we tried to replicate Kombucha's makeup. However, this is an early version of Kombucha.
From this photo, I definitely get drag nun vibes. I think part of the outfit helps with that, with the nun feeling, but also just the classic arched eyebrows and massive filled out eyeshadow just feels like that's just quintessential drag.
It's interesting to see Kombucha without the typical like green makeup, which is known for now. But I still think it's super cute. To be fair, I think she's got a really cute face actually. So anything she does would just look cute.
To be fair, it feels weird seeing kombucha in anything that isn't hot dog referenced, as I've been seeing online lately.
You can see the building blocks for where the makeup would go. And then when you look at it now, it's just, they've fully developed. It suits them to a T.
You know kombucha by like the signature color that they use. You know, they've really developed that into how they do their drag, and it's absolutely fabulous, but also really embracing the sacred clown aesthetic there, especially with the kazoos as earrings. I love it. It's the attention to detail again that just makes you go, they know exactly who they are and what they're selling. It's brilliant.
Even the guamp is green, like it's all clearly thought out.
Kens across the board.
Kens across the board. Is that going to be our measurement now?
I think it's going to be Kens across the board, although I'll make an exception. Here we have the almighty Lizard Queen.
Lizard Queen! We were second-rate lizards. I think her makeup just really expresses joy. That's what I get from it every time, which is what you would hope for from a sister.
We have to move on. If not, I'll just keep staring at this picture. It's absolutely beautiful.
So our next lovely sister has provided us with pictures that are over 10 years apart, which makes a lot of time for developing different makeup styles and things. So this is really cool.
You can see that there are elements that they started out with the fake lashes and the high eyeshadow going on. And over time, you can see that they've kept those, but they've refined them and added and enhanced them.
I think you're right. They seem to have figured out what works for their face quite early on. When you look at the actual shape of the eyes and the eyeshadow, it's the same. It's just that they've built upon it. So they've really kept what works for them and then fleshed it out more and developed over time. The end result's good. I like it. It's cute.
Yeah. I love the little circlet around the head as well. So again, it's also taking what they want to do drag-wise, but also what do they want to do in terms of jewelry. So it doesn't always have to be makeup that's added, and it doesn't always have to be gems.
I really love the witchy vibes that I'm getting from it. They've got quite a distinct vibe that I'm getting that I haven't seen in the other pictures.
It's just interesting. Already we're seeing very different styles of how people sister and how they present themselves to the gathered faithful.
Just going to say, I love the eyebrows.
So next, we have novice sister Helda Magnum from the Priory of the Wild Rose Sisters. And we've got a comparison again, and this one is just 2 years apart, so 2022, and then them in 2024.
I think, again, this one's really interesting because you can see the beginnings of what their face would be in the first photo, like with the contouring on the cheeks. And then you can see later on, they've developed that further. So it includes like the nose and the eyes, and it becomes a more complete work of art.
It's a lot softer and maybe a bit more subtle, which I think really works for them, and how they've got that really strong black beard that they've got, and then the subtler elements that really pulls together. It looks fabulous.
Kind of looks like over time they've learned more and more about what really works for their face, because the makeup now just suits them so perfectly.
And I'm loving it that so many people we're looking at have these elements that they play with over time, and they've really developed those themes.
I love the little beauty spot that they've decided to add as well. It feels like a really small but unique personal touch.
You know, as we're going through these, we're seeing that each person has their own little unique quirks that they're adding to their outfits. And part of that is that beauty spot, but then also whether it's adding gems or adding specific contouring or colouring, it's great. Incredible. Pleasing to the eye. Wunderbar.
Well, I'm really impressed with the next one, which is Sister Ursula Moorcock. And again, we've got a fair few years between, so I think it's 2018 versus 2024.
I really like in the original photo, actually, how they've got the little curl coming from the eye at the side. Again, that's really unique and stand out. I really like that.
The curl was cute, but they have elevated their game.
Over time, as they've had to apply it many, 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 many times as they manifest, they've found a way that they apply it that, again, just really works for them.
I think this is another person who started with an idea of what they were trying to achieve, but then they've made it more structural over time as they've started to understand better what's working on their face particularly. So when you look at the eyes and the structure that they now have, it really lifts their face so much. It suits them perfectly.
I imagine that the 2024 picture is maybe one related to a pride, given the sort of coloured veil. The attention to detail where they've got the golden spots on the colour, as well as the little red dots along. So again, although they may have given up the curl at the side of the eye, they've still got something unique and interesting at the side of the eye, which I think really suits their style.
I think also the colour's bolder now. So it's that idea of go big or go home. I think the longer you're a sister, the more comfortable you get with being really bold.
Wunderbar! Next up, we have the fabulous Sparkle Plenty.
Fabulous is the word.
Fabulous! Now, I will say, not only has Sparkle Plenty had a very lovely glow up here, but also their camera's had a glow up. Look at that camera quality.
You can tell it's been hours of practice, doing it many times. Oh, gorgeous. Oh, the colours. Oh.
What I love is Again, it's one of these ideas that on paper, lips and eyeshadow, it sounds really simple, but the application of it, it really, yeah, it just absolutely blows your mind seeing it.
The color coordination is just superior. The attention to detail, like everything is matching beautifully. And that's something that just comes with time as you start to build up, not just your makeup, also what your habit looks like, the extra bits and pieces that you add to it.
In the glow up, they've got a gradient, and so it's actually not just one block color, but this gradient going from gold to a dark blue purple. And I think the skill and the technique that it takes to do that and do it in such crisp lines is absolutely mind-blowing.
Stunning.
With a look that looks so opulent already, having the opulent neck piece and the earrings, yeah, it feels like something almost that you would see at a high-end fashion show.
Opulent is the word. It's opulence.
Opulence. They do sparkle aplenty.
Oh, the name for the next one is so cute. This name is adorable. Honey Bunches of Oats. And again, we've got a few years difference between the pictures. So I think we've got 2018 is the first picture, and then 2024 is our current picture.
I think actually this is a lovely picture that really showcases the confidence that comes with being a sister and growing into that role.
Yeah, I think you're right. The first picture is very cute and adorable. And then the second picture, they know that they ate.
There were no crumbs left at the end. By 2024, the makeup looks a lot more bolder. The colours pops a lot more. So obviously a higher pigment, or it's been applied differently compared to 2018. So again, as they've had that play with what works with their face and their style, they've become bolder.
You're right, because even the colours are similar from the first photo to the second photo, but it's how bold it is in the second picture and the attention to detail with all the other bits and pieces that go with it. Gorgeous glow up.
So next, we have the fabulous novice sister devoid of talent.
Oh, bless! Not devoid of talent. That's a lie.
And they said for this pre-glow up picture that they were unintentionally channeling the inner sister kombucha.
Honestly, I can see it. It looks very kombucha like. The color scheme, I think, is what's doing it, but also, I don't know, there's just something about their face. It's very cute and kombucha like.
I wouldn't have thought it automatically unless it had been commented, but because they'd flagged that there was unintentionally kombucha, I was like, oh yeah, I see it with the greens, and I don't know, I feel the lips are slightly kombucha. And it's one of those things that as a sister, when you're first starting out, you're going to be trialing new things. And part of that might be taking what you see from other sisters and trying it out on yourself and seeing if it works. I mean, I'm channeling my pre-sister Alaska. I'm back to holy fuck days here. And then for the glow up, we have them serving Christmas in the middle of July.
And why not? This is them learn to be bold, bold and beautiful.
It also showcases a bit more of that personality that they've developed as a sister persona. And it looks like, yeah, they're confident, they're happy, they're having a good time, and they're willing to be playful. It's perfect. And I love how bold the makeup has become, but also the little addition to the guamp that's just on their shoulder. It makes me think, Chris, this is a pirate sister.
I hadn't even noticed that. That's what I need, a little pal on my shoulder.
It could be a chicken.
Could be a chicken. I was thinking it would just be like, evil, good and evil, whispering in different ears.
So Babeushka on one shoulder is evil, but who's the good?
Sister Laffy Taffeta. And this is another monochromatic look that we have from someone further back in their sister journey.
Even though it's monochromatic, they've really found a way to make it pop with the sort of bold black application, as well as the use of silvers and greys.
This is someone who's really thought about creating structure on their face and making their bone structure work for them. So you can see how much attention to detail they put into that. And I think that's something they've actually carried forward into their current looks.
Already, the contouring game was strong. Those cheekbones, the nose, up along the eye ridge. It's just, yeah, they know what works for their face.
Look at them now. That is tasty AF. Honestly, they look like candy. Like, it's gorgeous.
I love the fact that not only do they have the coloured facial hair and it matches with the lips, but they've even picked the sort of head scarves to go with it with the same colours. Again, it's another example of perfect colour coordination and attention to detail.
Something that's really interesting is that over time, they've clearly decided to ditch doing eyebrows. And it's something that most people assume, like, it's an essential, you need to have brows, even if you're doing drag. And here's an example of how you can break the rules, be as creative as you want, and still end up with something that looks absolutely stunning.
The thing is, when we start saying what drag should be, or, you know, what is a staple of drag, we're actually limiting people's creativity in showcasing all the wonders that they could put on their face. And I really love here that Sister Laffy Taffeta has not went along with that.
Oh, it's lush.
I'm going to have to pull you away now, and we're going to go to another fabulous Sister Glow Up.
Sister Hera. I love it because we have a Hera in our own house, hereditary. But this is Sister Hera Sees Candy, and they're showing us their very first manifestation versus their most recent.
I am just blown away because that statue in the back is well endowed in the first photo.
Oh, that is?
Lucky for some, eh? Anyway, statues aside, I am absolutely blown away here with Sister Hera. Even first manifest, that feels crazy how good they are. You know what both these manifests remind me of is sort of comic book art style. And so I wonder if like they're quite proficient in that in outside of their sister time.
I feel they've come with some pre-practiced skills.
That beard and facial hair that they've got on their second one, like, actually feels really realistic, even though, you know, it's just been applied on with makeup. And it takes skill.
The second one just fits them so perfectly. And it's really bold and defined. I'm super impressed.
They're actually a sister that started with colour on the face. And then what's happened over time is they've become bolder, but not with more colour being applied. They've actually reduced the amount of colour to just the sort of lips and made the lips slightly smaller. But the stylistic choice they've done really pops.
Yeah, it's interesting because we've talked a few times about how actually as a sister, you want to be more bold with your colour. But here's a really good example of how you can break the rules.
Jealous of that second face, like.
It's very cool.
Do you know, going through this at the moment though, I'm like, I want to manifest with you people. I want to stand next to this in real life and just like stare in awe at the beauty that is some of these faces in person.
You want to admire some makeup? Here I am.
So humble about it, Alaska.
My one skill, give me a break.
So next up on the chopping block, oh, I've become Jennifer Coolidge. These guys are trying to kill me. I want a hot dog real bad. So next up, we had another submission from the City of Fountain Sisters, and they actually provided us a novice face practice that they did back in 2017.
That's really cool. So this is specifically them practicing their makeup. And again, they've understood the assignment of be big and be bold.
What's also interesting is the unique way it's being bold. The traditional big wings for the eye, but then the untraditional contouring as well as the sort of red circles. And I actually think that works really well.
It's really nice to see someone deliberately experimenting. There's a sister style. There are certain things that are quite common for sisters to do as part of their makeup. And as part of my own journey, I chose to not do that. And so it's interesting to see other people who diverge away from the more traditional looking sister face.
Look at that glow up though. My God.
Oh, this is to die for.
Babeushka's feeling things again.
Look at the blending on the eyes. The eye shape is quite unique, actually. It really works for them. Very sultry.
The dots that go down the nose and form up the shape there, I don't think I've really seen that on any other sisters. And that's actually really stand out.
I've just noticed this is another sister who's decided not to do brows. The eye shape seems unique, I think, particularly with the way the lashes are as well. It's quite different from what I see on other sisters. They were thinking about colour and placement before, but you can tell over time they've really practiced their blending. And that's how they've managed to create this amazing look that they've got now.
Almost like it's air painted on, like it doesn't get applied by human hands. It's just magically appearing on their faces. It's absolutely beautiful.
This is another big time gap, actually. We've got Sister Clara here, and the first picture is from 2000, and the next one is from 2023. So you've got over 20 years difference.
It's interesting because, again, they start already being bold. Like in 2000, they've already got the bold eyeshadow, the high brow, and they've worked that so fabulously. And then just in 2023, they've got those bold colours, but they've added more to it by colouring the beard and huge lashes. I don't know how they're keeping their eyes open with those lashes.
They started strong, they did. And then I think over time, it looks like they've introduced more colour to their look, which is really fun.
Like the original headpiece compared to then what you get in 2023, like they've played a lot more with that, but it was very elegant and, you know, a very Chanel idea of less is more. Whereas then they've progressed and they've got their veil on, but they've also got this massive flower and this massive orange overveil that works with it.
That's what we need to do. We need to learn from this. Like at the moment, we've got our headpieces, we've got our veils, but we're not doing a huge amount more than that. We need to add more. We need more. More is more.
So what I'm hearing is we've currently got the croissant, but we want to add to the continental breakfast. And so we need the pain au raisin, the pain au chocolat. Just add to the breakfast pieces.
Thanks, Sister Clara. We're going to try zhuzhing up our headpieces too. Watch this space.
Next, we have Ethelyn Twitch from the City of Fountain Sisters with another fabulous glow up.
The biggest changes in how they're carrying themselves, as we've spoken about before. In the second one, it radiates joy so much more. The first one is cute, but the second one is like extra joy.
I think it's that transformation internally on being a sister and doing the work and getting that exposure, again, has helped them just find how to exude that joy.
I love the change in lip shape. The lip shape in the second one is much more stylized. And actually, I think really works for them.
I think it also works with the sort of neck piece as well. It gives that more Tudor-esque feel with the frilly neck bit and then the shaped lips.
There's a whole design that's coming together here, and it just gives them this like Elizabethan air.
God, aren't they royal?
Well, that has been an awful lot of makeup photos that we've looked at tonight. I'd like to declare that it is Ken's across the board.
Every single one that we've looked at is absolutely fabulous. And it's been so heartwarming to see the beautiful journeys that our fellow sisters have went on as they've discovered themselves and their sister persona, and how that's been reflected in their makeup glow up.
And just how diverse the different makeup looks are. Just like our community, it is expression of diversity.
Kens, every one of them's a Ken. They're enough for me.
And hopefully this is a sign for whoever's watching this to not be afraid to be big, be bold, experiment, and express yourself creatively. Because actually, all of these looks were very different from one another. There is no one right way to do drag. It's all about finding what works for you and what you're comfortable with. No matter what you do, I'm sure you'll slay.
If anyone out there has been inspired to have a practice on their own face with some drag makeup, it would be lovely to see that and see all your beautiful faces as well and how you've grown up.
if you're at all interested in our own makeup looks, we've actually done videos on this before. We've got a couple of tutorials which you can watch on our YouTube channel where you can see how to do Sister Babeushka face and how you do Sister Alaska face.
If you've enjoyed this video or any of the other videos that you might have watched produced by us, it would be great if you could give us a follow on social medias or just check out other things that we do at the House of Nunsense, because you know, it is not just this show that we do a whole wide range of things to engage with the community. And it'd be great to have you come along and see what we do.
We do a lot. If you only watch the YouTube channel, you're missing out. So do you think that perhaps we've done the thing?
Well, I don't think we've just done the thing. I think all our fellow sisters have done the thing.
They've definitely done the thing. We've done the thing. We've done the thing. We've done the thing. We've done the thing.